The Minnesota Twins are 3-0. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't see a scenario this season where we lose a single game. Imagine. Really though, our pitching looks good, but at the same time, we just played the Royals, so it doesn't really count. Sorry, Kansas City fans, but you know that one's true. Anyway, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video and happy Monday. So just going through comments and seeing things that reoccur, one of the top things I get asked to do is something that I did last year, and that is predict or give my Madden ratings to NFL players. And I say it that way because I don't know if I should title this video Predicting Madden Ratings for 2024 or me giving my Madden ratings, because it's essentially the same thing. I ran a poll on Twitter this morning. Quarterbacks won by a landslide, so a couple quick things before we hop right into it. One, head over to GFuel.com, use code WyattzWorld, save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. And two, if you're 18 years or older, head over to Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where code WyattzWorld will match up to $100 of your first deposit. But always remember, play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Alright, welcome to the Madden scale, everybody. I don't think I really need to go over this. You can tell the ratings are right here, and that's where I'm going to be putting the players. Last year, I can't remember how many categories I had. I want to say it was only 4, so I tried to add, an extra one here at the top. But I'm not sure how many players are going to be up here, honestly. Anyway, our first quarterback is Baker Mayfield. I would give him a 73. I mean, it's kind of hard to give him anything higher than that. He went to a new system where he was supposed to thrive and ended up doing absolutely terrible and lost his job to Sam Darnold. Then somehow, by the graces of God, he received another opportunity in LA in Matt Stafford's absence where he looked okay. Had a really nice game-winning drive, I guess, that gave the Buccaneers enough hope to sign him as their starter this year, but I don't think Baker is anything special at all. Up next, we got Carson Wentz. 71. I think he's absolutely terrible too, but somehow, some way, certain drives he can manage to look like a somewhat decent quarterback, but majority of the time, the guy is terrible. Up next, we got Dak Prescott. 82. He was definitely dealing with something this year, but I mean, I've always said this, if you're injured, you just really shouldn't play. I mean, career high 15 interceptions, only 23 touchdowns to account for it. His completion percentage was also lower, like, he wasn't him. Not gonna put him in the 70s because he definitely deserves better than that, but I think a low 80 probably is pretty accurate. After Dak Prescott, we got Daniel Jones. Gonna sound crazy here, but I'd probably go 83. Not saying he is overall a better quarterback than Dak Prescott, but I'm saying last year he was. Only turned the ball over 5 times, completed 67% of his passes, throwing to guys who were working at 7-Eleven. Not only did Daniel Jones have the worst offense to work with as far as receivers go, he still managed to throw for the most yards he's thrown for in his career, and he sat the last game. And I point that out because people are going to be like, well, he had the extra game. It's a 17-game season. No, like I said, he didn't play that game. It was only 16 games for Danny, and he still had the best 16-game stretch of his career. Don't forget the legs this guy has either, man. He definitely took a big step up this year. After Daniel Jones, we've got Aaron Rodgers. I'm gonna say 94. He'll be high. He deserves to be high. He definitely is high. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in the game. This was the worst offense the guy's ever had to work with, I think, since he's been in the league. And I know I've talked a lot of bad about him recently, like a lot, because I think the guy is an absolute tool, but when it comes to precision passing and just putting the ball on an absolute dime, still don't really think there's anybody who's quite as accurate as him. Moving on, we got Davis Mills. I'm going to go 70 here. This guy is going to be a really good backup, but I just don't think he's a good starter. He has talent that can be orchestrated to be good at moments, but him full-time, like, it's not the answer, and that is very clear. Moving on, we got Derek Carr. I'm going to say 84. Still don't think he should have lost his job, and I think that's going to haunt the Raiders by getting rid of him. It's not going to haunt him in the sense that he's going to go win a ring or something right away, but it's going to haunt him that they're not going to do any better with Jimmy Garoppolo. Consistent, he's reliable. I think he's a solid quarterback. Moving on, we got Deshaun Watson, 78. Look, we know what he was, we know what he still can be, but as a Cleveland Brown last year, he was absolutely terrible. He looked like a rookie. Completed under 60% of his passes, made how many stupid-ass interceptions? You know, I get it. He almost took 2 full years off. There's a bunch of room for him to spike back up. That was really bad terminology, actually, to talk about Deshaun Watson with. Anyway, coming off last year, the guy is bad. Moving on, we got Geno. Let's say 84 as well. Here's the one thing about Geno. Even though last year was a severe outlier year, the little bit he got to play in 2021, he was actually elite as well. Like, I am actually led to believe that under Pete Carroll on the Seahawks, he is a completely different quarterback. He is actually this good quarterback we see. Passer rating of 100, 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 picks. Insane numbers for someone who's practically been sitting on the bench since 2015. Like, it was really crazy. Good for Geno. I'd give it to him. Up next, we got Jalen Hurts. I would give him a 92. One of those quarterbacks that when you can't get something working through the air, he's going to use his legs and get the job done himself. He had 700 yards and 13 touchdowns as a rusher. And as a passer, he had another 22 touchdowns as well as threw for 3,700 yards. He is as dual threat as they come, and without him, there is no doubt in my mind they would not have made the Super Bowl. After Jalen, we've got Jameis Winston. 69, I'm sorry, my brother. You have shown one thing throughout your career, and that is you have tremendous arm strength. But without Sean Payton as a quarterback, if you are a starter, the team is absolutely doomed. After Jameis, we got Jared Goff. 87. I'm a Goff stan, you guys know that, but the guy's never been a bad quarterback. Stop it. Yeah, he may have had a little decent in LA, you know, after he helped bring them to the Super Bowl. Then he was sent to Detroit to die, where he's only helped them write what is possibly going to be one of the greatest stories in NFL history. Last year, he threw for 29 touchdowns and just under 4,500 yards. Give this man a clean pocket and time to throw it, and I promise you, man, he is going to be as good as just about anyone. Up next, we got Jimmy Garoppolo. 83. He's not bad, and I know it might sound like I think he's bad. I don't. He is solid, but that's it. Solid. I don't think he possesses a single trait that no other quarterback in the league has. And he also gets hurt all the time. After Jimmy, we got Joshy Boy. 96. Oh, he had 14 picks. He's ass. He also scored 42 touchdowns. The man is a freak of nature. He's got the strongest arm in the league, as well as the rushing ability of a prime Cam Newton, man. Players bounce off the guy, if they can even touch him, because he's always jumping over people. Also one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the league. Yeah, I know he's lost a game. Patrick Mahomes has lost a game for the Chiefs too. Doesn't matter. More times than none, when the game is on the line, he is going to take control and they're going to win. After Josh, we got Justin Fields. 79. Now don't jump the gun too quick on him. You can't as a passer. It's not fair. As a rusher, he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. There is no question about that. As a passer though, man, he's just a little bit inconsistent. Definitely makes a couple idiotic decisions. Good news about it is he's still young and he just got a really good receiver to help him out. All right, on to Herbie Fully Loaded, right next to Walmart Herbie Fully Loaded. That's hilarious. Anyway, Justin Herbert, I would give a 90. He's really good, and 90 is a really good rating. We'll get into that more in about 2 picks here, but for now, we're gonna leave it. So up next, we got Kenny Pickett, 69. I mean, he had a absolutely horrid rookie season. Do I think he's going to be good? Yep, I do. I think he's going to be just like Trevor Lawrence, but coming off of last season, it's hard to give him anything. Now, on to Kirk Cousins. I'd give Kirk an 88. The reason I compared him to Justin Herbert is because for anybody who's screaming that I only gave Herbert a 90, he's so good, right? Then you got to do the same exact thing for Kirk Cousins. They're essentially on the same planet. I do think Herbert is better than him. That's why I have Herbert as a 90 and Kirk as an 88. But both of these are substantially talented quarterbacks who throw up precision numbers every single year, but they don't win shit. And that is the harsh reality behind the situation. If Justin Herbert does what he has been doing and sits on the Chargers for the next 4 to 5 years, he will become the new Kirk Cousins, and that is wrongly hated for every reason. 88 for Kirk though. Accurate, excellent arm strength. The guy doesn't get hurt. After Kirk, we've got Joe Burrow, 95. Really the only thing that separates Joe and Josh is Josh's ability to run. You don't see that out of Joe, but as a passer, honestly, Joe might be more accurate. He probably is. Joe might be smarter. You sat me in a room and said I had to pick between choosing Josh and Joe and I wasn't a Bills fan or a Bengals fan, my head would explode. After Joe Burrow, we got Kyler. 82. Not that good of a passer. I've said it for years. On the ground, yes, fantastic. He can evade pressure like nobody else. He is so quick, so devious. But when it comes to throwing the ball, man, he is about as good as half of the guys in the league. And it really doesn't help my situation that he has such an unlikable personality. Up next, we got Lamar Jackson, 90. Obviously, again, Lamar on the ground, great. But as a passer, this is my issue with him. Again, we got to eliminate the narrative that he can't throw because that's bullshit. He obviously can. He will go out and have games where, he throws for 4 touchdowns and has a passer rating of 150. He'll get everybody in the world behind him talking about how he's so underrated, how he's so underappreciated. And then the next week, he'll go out and throw 16 balls in the dirt and have 3 interceptions. It is hit or it is miss when it comes to passing with Lamar Jackson. But on the ground and his ability to win games, it's pretty much unlike anybody else. All right, that'll bring us to Mac Jones, 79. I think he is actually decent, and I think people are really pointing the gun at the wrong person if you think Mac Jones is the problem over there. He had no shot this year with Matt Patricia, guys. He had no shot at all, and that's coming from a Bills fan. Rookie Mac was good. I bet you Mac with Bill O'Brien is going to be even better. After Mac, we got Marcus Mariota, 50. He's terrible. He's a crybaby. He lost me a week in fantasy, and I honestly don't ever want to see him play again, even though I think he just signed as a backup for the Eagles, where he can watch Jalen Hurts be great from the sidelines. Moving on, we got Matt Stafford, 80. The guy won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. You can't completely forget about him. But yeah, this year, injured or not, when he played, he was dreadful. And when I say dreadful, I mean that in all caps. I would expect him to be a possible comeback player of the year candidate, though, because, I mean, he just comes back this year and throws for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, which he's very capable of. It's gonna look so night and day. After Stafford, we got Mahomes, 99. I mean, it would be really hard to give him anything other than that. Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, regular season MVP. I mean, that's what a 99 overall is. Am I not right on that? Next up, we got Russ. I would give him an 86 right now. I still think he is a top 10 quarterback. Like I said, it would be really hard to go ahead and just throw him back in the 90s, especially coming off of a horrible year like he just had. But I know he is still good, and he is going to prove a lot of people wrong. Next, we got Tannehill. I would give him an 81. He's getting a little bit overhated now. By far not the best quarterback in the league, but if you have him as your starter and you have the right team, like, you're capable of going all the way. All right, up next, we've got Sam Ehlinger, but we're going to switch it to Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy gets a 75. I think that's over generous, honestly. I mean, dude, he was Mr. Irrelevant, came in, lit it up, looked great, and then got injured. He's expected to come back and play at a full recovery, and I hope he does well, but right now I think a 75 is a great rating. After Brock, we got Tom Brady, who is retired, so I'm just going to drop him in 50. So that brings us to Trevor Lawrence, 88. He won't get anything near to that. That's just what I would give him, though. Like I said, I think Trevor is emerging into be one of the future quarterbacks that'll sit at the top of the league, but I'm also not in charge of the ratings, and knowing Chad Johnson, he'll give Trevor like an 80. I think he's got a cannon. I think he can run, and he's really starting to settle in there, I think, as like the team captain. Like he's no longer, you know, that young kid anymore. Like I think people are starting to look up to him. All right, we only got 2 left, and the next is Tua, 85. I think that's a very fair spot to put him. When Tua plays, Tua's good. Tua's accurate. Tua can win games. And when Tua plays, they can also lose like 6 in a row. And when Tua plays, he can also get a concussion that puts him out for months at a time. I think as his career goes on, he's going to evolve. He's just going to get better. But right now, I'd put him at 85. And ending the list, we've got Zach Wilson. Honest rating, 67. No way around it. He's not a good quarterback at all. Can he be good? Sure, maybe, but I would not ever put any money on it. And yeah, that'll conclude it for my Madden ratings for every NFL quarterback. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, you already know what to do to show support. Comment, like, subscribe, turn that bell on. I do my best to post on this channel every single day. Let me know where you agree. Let me know where you disagree. I'm sure the comments are going to be fierce on this one, but don't worry, I can take it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to hop off now and get this edited so you can watch it on time. Have a great rest of your week, and as always, I will see you in the next video.